Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome to my new office and my new house. I just moved into this house a few days ago and this is my first video filming in here. So it's a brand new space, brand new room, and I have so many videos that I want to film, but I really just wanted to sit down and chat with you, do my makeup, update you on all the moving things, all the things that have been going on for the last few weeks that I haven't really talked about too much, but I thought we would just sit down and chat today, do our makeup together. I still have my second cup of coffee here that I haven't finished, and that's what we're gonna do today. If you are new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty content here on YouTube, so I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already. And let's get started. Okay, hi. I feel like I am a little bit out of practice because it's been a few weeks since I filmed the last video that you would have seen, which was my empties video. We have been moved into this new house for 5 days. 5 days now, I think that's right. I don't even know what day of the week it is, honestly. I have so much to update you on. So we're gonna get started with some SPF. I haven't done that yet today. So I'm going to use this Skin 1004, which is still my favorite, and figured we could just chat. So this is my new office. If you've been watching my videos for the past few months, you've heard me talk about moving, and we finally did it. We are finally here, but let me tell you, it has not been a smooth road. And I thought it would just kind of be fun to update you today on everything that's been going on, because my last few videos I mentioned that we were moving, but I didn't really tell you all the fun drama that's been going on. I mean, it's not a big deal or anything, but it's just been one thing after the next getting ready for this move, and it doesn't matter because we're here, we made it, but it's been a lot and it has not been a smooth road. So I thought we could sit down and chat about it today. A lot of days I barely had any makeup on. If I did have some on, I threw it on as fast as I could in like 5 minutes and that's it. So this is the first time I'm actually gonna sit and relax, take my time, which is what I like to do with my makeup. So basically, I have been living out of this makeup bag. This is one of the Stoney Clover makeup bags. This is the large one, so you can see it's huge. It fits so much stuff. But this was one of the limited edition Gilmore Girls collabs that they did. I guess it was last November, I think it was, or October. And I packed all of my first stringers in here. So things that I just did not want to put in a box, things that I know that I use and want with me all the time. So that's what I put in here. But anyway, so everything I've been using when I've been wearing makeup has come out of here. So most of, or pretty much everything we're going to use today has come from this bag. So let me grab this. So this is one of the things that on the days that I have been wearing makeup, I've been using this. Most of them. This is the Double Wear Sheer. Of course, if you know me, you know I love this stuff. This is the shade 2-in-1, and I love this, number one, because it's very thin, lightweight, easy to apply, but what I love most about it is that it lasts all day long, and I'm not kidding. This stuff, even though it's thin, it will last all day. Find my brush here. So what can I update you on first? Let me think. Okay, so let's go back to about 2 months ago, or let me think. Okay, we put our house on the market at the end of March. So it was actually Easter weekend when we put the house on the market. And at that time, we had already kind of started looking at houses. We weren't even sure where we were going to move yet at that time. So we ended up moving back to the Greenville, South Carolina area, which we lived here 4 years ago. Actually, when I started my YouTube channel, we were living here. And we ended up moving to the Charlotte area about 4 years ago for a job that my husband had at the time. He doesn't have it anymore. He has a different job now. So we were able to move back because he can now work remotely. So the company he works for is based in Charlotte, but he can work remotely. So we ended up coming back here. But going back to when we put our house on the market, this was Easter weekend. And it went on the market on a Friday, so the Friday before Easter. And that day, we had someone come look at it. And those people ended up putting an offer on our house. First day, like not even 12 hours into it being on the market. And so obviously we were really excited. I didn't want the house to be on the market for any longer than it had to be, because if you've ever been, or if you've ever owned a home, put it on the market and had showings, you know how annoying it is. It's just not fun. It's not fun to try to live in a house, keep it clean, have to leave randomly it's a whole thing. So we were hoping that we wouldn't have to show the house many times before going under contract, which we were excited about. We were like, okay, these people love the house. They put an offer in. It was a good offer. They were adamant about us accepting this offer. Adamant. We actually had an open house scheduled for the next day, which was the Saturday before Easter. And we were going to go ahead and do the open house. Even though they had submitted an offer, we were going to do the open house. They didn't want us to do it, but we did it. Anyway, so we end up accepting their offer the next day. We're excited. We're like, okay, yeah, this is great. We didn't even have to show the house but one time. We're under contract. We had actually already seen the house that we ended up buying that we loved, but we were trying to wait until our house was on the market because they wouldn't accept our offer on this house until our other house was under contract. So anyways, we were excited. We're like, this is great. We can move forward with everything now. We didn't have to show the house many times. Everything's great. Well, so Easter, this was Saturday. We accept their offer. Easter goes by and, you know, we're in a really good mood. We're like, this is amazing. We can move forward with all our plans. We can set our closing for this house. Now that we know when we're going to close on our old house, everything's going to be great. Well, Easter comes and goes. Monday morning, so basically 36 hours after we accepted their offer, they signed all the papers. We signed all the papers. You know how all that goes. I get a call from our real estate agent in Charlotte, and she's like, I'm really sorry. And I just knew in her voice when I picked up the phone, something was wrong. She was like, I'm really sorry, but they are terminating the contract. And of course, I was devastated. We were devastated, my husband and I. And come to find out, the reason that they were terminating the contract was because the people that had come to see the house were actually the parents of the people that were buying the house. So the people that were buying the house and put in the offer had not seen the house at that point. They were, I guess, just going off of what their parents told them, pictures online, like all of that. So the reason that they terminated the contract was because our old neighborhood, it's kind of hard to explain without you actually seeing it, but our old neighborhood was a big neighborhood. Like there were hundreds of houses in this neighborhood. And all the way down the middle of the neighborhood were power lines, big power lines, like huge power lines. And they were all over the neighborhood. It literally ran all the way down like a vertical line, just straight down the middle of the neighborhood. So to get to our house was over here. You had to go under some power lines. Well, apparently the husband, so the man that was buying the house with his wife, I guess he flew into town. They were from out of town. I believe they were from Texas somewhere. They flew into town, or he did, on Sunday, so on Easter, and he drove by the house and apparently did not like that there were power lines nearby. Like our house wasn't under the power lines, but you had to drive under them to get to the section of our neighborhood where our house was. Apparently he did not like that, and I guess his in-laws did not inform him or something that there were power lines in the neighborhood. I don't know. But that's why they ended up terminating the contract. Well, we had already started making plans at that point of, you know, looking into who was going to move us down here, when we were going to do that, when our closing was going to be on this house based on our other house. Anyway, so that was a whole thing. So that's part one. I'm using my Natasha Denona concealer now, as always. Of course, this was one of the things that I put in my makeup bag I did not want to pack. So that happened. So it sucked, but of course we were like, okay, nothing we can do about it. Let's move forward. We'll start showing the house again and hopefully get it back under contract. So we do. A few days goes by, like 2 or 3 days. We do some more showings and we get another offer on our house. And again, at this point, we were like, okay, this is a good offer. We're gonna go ahead and take this one and hopefully be done with this. So we accept the offer and everything's good. So we're like, okay, great. So, you know, when you sell a house, there are all these other things that the buyer will do. One of them is the inspection. So our house, when we bought it, it was new. So our house is only our old house. It's not our house anymore. That house was only 4 years old. We bought it in 2020 and it was a new build when we bought it. So, you know, you wouldn't think there would be much on the inspection report on a house that's that new. So they do the inspection and not surprisingly, they don't find anything on the inside of the house, nothing. There were a few like very, very minor things, but things that really don't matter, not important things. But there was one thing that they found on the outside of the house, and this just ended up being a huge nightmare. So our house was made of siding. It was fiber cement siding. I wish I didn't know all of this about fiber cement siding, but I now know these things. So when they did the inspection, the inspector noticed that one side of our house, the side that really gets the most sun exposure, the siding, the planks of the siding, if you looked really closely, they had started to crack. And I'm not talking like a few cracks here and there, like I'm talking cracks on almost every plank on the left side of our house. So, and mind you, this house is 4 years old. Okay, the planks should have like a warranty of some kind, at least on the material. So we're like, okay, you know, we got to figure out who was the manufacturer of this siding that was on our house. Well, another piece of the puzzle is that the builder or the company that built our house, since we bought it, had been sold. So that company no longer exists. It does, I guess, but it's under a new name. So a lot of those people aren't with the company anymore. You get it. So we have to figure out who the manufacturer is, who installed it, who would know like something about this siding on our house. Well, we finally figure out who the company is, who the manufacturer of the siding is. Come to find out, I guess they've had multiple lawsuits against them for this same thing with the siding. So basically we got a bad batch of siding on our house and it cracked. We don't know if it was from sun exposure or maybe it was just a defect within the siding when it was made. I don't know. But anyway, so that's a whole thing. Well, they were very upset about it, which is understandable. Obviously, you don't want to buy a house with siding cracked anywhere, but let alone on an entire side of a house. Well, I shouldn't say we, because my husband did most of this. He did most of this stuff. he is able to get in touch with the company that manufactured this siding, and they let us file a warranty claim on the materials. So we would still have to pay for the labor for somebody to replace the siding, because basically what the inspector said was, yeah, this whole side of the house needs to be replaced. The whole side, which I agree. I mean, it was totally cracked. It was totally cracked. There was definitely something wrong with that siding. So we were like, okay, we contact the company, we filed this warranty claim to get, basically how it works is they inspect the siding, they determine if they're going to cover it or not, which I don't know why they wouldn't cover this, because it's clearly something's wrong with it. And they say, okay, yeah, we'll reimburse you for the materials for that portion of the house. So we're like, okay, we're gonna let them know, well, we got this, we filed this claim, all of these things. They're gonna reimburse for the parts. We will then have it done. We will pay the labor and use the other money for new siding, have it replaced, all good. Well, they didn't want that siding. They wanted to use another type of siding that was more expensive, that is not what's on the house. It's made by a totally different company. So basically they wanted to put an entirely different siding made by a different company that doesn't have the same finish or the same grain as what's on the rest of the house. And they basically wanted us to pay for it. So it was just a mess. There was a lot of back and forth. It was a disaster, just to say the least. And finally, we were able to work it all out. They were going to do what they wanted to do with the siding, and it was just kind of out of our hands. So eventually we worked it out, but it was just so stressful. So stressful. And not to mention the fact that we had already put a contract in on this house. And when you do that, you put money down, you agree to a closing date and all these things. And we had already done all that. So we were just panicking that, okay, we've just done all this stuff and now we've got this issue with the siding on the house. But all of that worked out and it was fine until the day of closing. So basically, we closed on our old house in North Carolina on the same day that we closed on this one. So we closed on our other house at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we were supposed to close on this one at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we were in Charlotte. We show up at the attorney's office at 10 o'clock. We're supposed to be there. We have to then turn around and drive up here, which is about 2 hours away from the Charlotte area. Drive here with our truck, with all our stuff, and then close on this house at 2 o'clock. So we go, we sign all the papers. We think, okay, we're good. We're sitting there at the table as we're signing these papers. And one of the attorneys or the paralegal, I'm not sure, says to the buyers of our house, oh, it looks like we have received a wire from your lender and everything's good with that, but we haven't received your personal wire. So basically for their down payment. And I was sitting there and I didn't say anything at the time, but I was sitting there thinking, oh gosh, what do you mean you haven't gotten their wire? We're closing on this house right now and nobody has verified their funds anywhere. So I'm sitting there and my husband didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. They let us sign the papers and then they're like, okay, y'all are free to go. You can go and, you're free to close on your other house at 2 o'clock. So we leave, we get up, we drive all the way up here to Charlotte. We're like, okay, whatever. Well, our closing here, like I said, was supposed to be at 2 o'clock. So we left Charlotte at 10. So we got here around noon. We came to the house. We left the truck here. We left a bunch of our stuff that was in our cars here. We're like, okay, we're going to go sign these papers, we'll come right back and we'll start moving our stuff in. Or so we thought. So we are literally pulling into the attorney's office where we're supposed to close on our new house, and we get an email from one of the paralegals at the attorney's office that we're pulling into, and she's like, hey, we haven't received a wire from the Charlotte attorney's office with, you know, the proceeds to put down on this house. Can you look into it? So we're like, okay, great. So we have to get in touch with our agent in Charlotte, and we're like, hey, what's going on with the law firm in Charlotte? Because they're saying they haven't gotten anything from them. And we're supposed to close on this house at 2 o'clock, which is like 10 minutes till 2. At this point, she's like, okay, well, let me check. Well, long story short, and I know I've made this a very long story, but basically their wire that they had supposedly sent 2 days prior to the closing for their down payment, it was lost, basically. Something was wrong with the wire initially. They had to make some type of amendment, and the amendment to the wire got done, but the wire never got pushed through, basically. So the wire was just kind of hanging out there somewhere. And why nobody figured this out or realized this or wondered, hey, where is their wire that they sent 2 days ago, until the day these people are supposed to buy our house, I don't know. I do not know. And then they knew that we were turning around and buying our new house that same day. Well, obviously we couldn't do that without them receiving the proceeds from our sale of our other house. So we sit there at the attorney's office, and we've already signed the papers. We sit there, we sign all the papers on this house. We sit there, wait on them to receive the wire from the other law firm. It never comes in. So we sit and we sit and we sit, and hours are going by at this point. Okay, hours are going by. Not to mention, we had movers scheduled to come help us later that afternoon at 5 o'clock. So time is going by, still no wire, still nothing. We're like, great, what are we gonna do? We've got all these things scheduled. We've got movers, we've got internet scheduled to come, we've got appliances being delivered. We've got all of these things, and we can't get the keys to the house because they're waiting on this wire. It was the day from H-E-double-L. Truly. Finally, we just kind of gave up. It was almost 5 at this point. It was like 4:45, somewhere around there. And we were just like, okay, clearly this is not going to happen today. I don't know what we're going to do with all our stuff overnight, but it's not looking like we're getting the keys to the house today. So we leave the law firm and we drive back to the house because we had left all of our stuff in the truck here, and a lot of our stuff just sitting like on the front porch outside the house. So we come and we're like, okay, well, we're just gonna have to figure something out, and hopefully they'll get the wire the next day. We'll get the keys, and we'll just have to move a day later than we thought. So we get all the way back here, which is like 30 minutes away, and our agent here calls me and she's like, okay, I worked it out with the builder of our new house, and he said that you can go ahead and get the keys, that it's fine. They'll get the wire the next day and everything's fine. Well, we had just already driven 30 minutes back to the house, and they were closing. So they're like, okay, well, if you can get back here in 30 minutes, we'll give you the keys. You can get in the house. Well, so we turn around, we drive all the way back there, get the keys, come all the way back here, and we were able to get in the house, thank goodness. But of course, now at this time, we've rescheduled everything. We rescheduled the movers, we rescheduled the internet, we rescheduled the appliance delivery, all of these things. So then my husband gets on the phone and tries to schedule them back the way that they were. Well, of course, all of those appointment slots are taken, because why wouldn't they be? Of course. So it just threw everything off. But The next day, we were able to get the movers to come out the next day and help, which was lucky, because they actually had another job that canceled, or I guess they rescheduled it as well. So we were able to get the movers the next day, and we got everything moved into the house. Now, we weren't able to reschedule the internet for the next day, so we just got internet yesterday. Our appliances were like 3 days later than when we had scheduled them originally, which is fine. You know, it's fine. We can make do with whatever. But it was just one thing after the next, one thing after the next. And it's just, I don't know, when we left the attorney's office, it just felt so defeated that day, because I was like, I mean, I literally just want to get in this freaking house. Like, I am so tired of back and forth and back and forth. And you know, when you move, you're tired, your stuff's everywhere, you don't know where anything is, and you just feel kind of just displaced, you know, like you don't really have a home at that point, which we really didn't, because we had sold our other house and we couldn't get into this one, or so we thought. So anyways, it was the day from hell, but it all worked out, so it's fine. Everything works out. Everything works out. That blush, by the way, was Patrick Ta and Not Too Much, which of course has been in my bag this whole time. It's really the only blush that I've worn. I also have She's That Girl from Patrick Ta in my bag, but most days I've been wearing Not Too Much. So that is the story. We finally, as you can see, obviously we got in the house. Everything is fine and everything worked out, but it was not an easy road to get here. And yeah, you know, things happen, but it all worked out in the end, which I'm so grateful for. And now we'll get into just how freaking happy we are here. And we've only been here for 5 days. Like, I cannot tell you how happy I am to be here. Like I said, we've lived here before, not in this exact same area, but nearby. So we're familiar with the area, but y'all, when I tell you I am so happy with this house, I don't even know how to tell you how much I love this house. It is just perfect. It is so perfect. It has a yard, a huge yard. It's over an acre, and it's just perfect. It's perfect. It's not a huge house. It's actually a little bit smaller than our last house. Not by much, but by just a little bit. And it is just perfect. We were so over being right on top of people all the time. Our old neighborhood and our old house was beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It was a beautiful house, but the lot was just not it for us. It was just no privacy. When I tell you no privacy at all. It was loud. There were constantly cars going by, constantly people outside the house, or what it seemed right outside the house, yelling, talking, screaming. It was just music playing, like just nothing peaceful whatsoever about that house, truly. And it's a shame, because the house itself, like I said, I loved it. It was a pretty house, but it just wasn't for us. It was not a place that made us happy, and it was honestly just getting worse and worse and worse, to the point where when we would leave town or go away somewhere and come back, I did not want to go back. And that's not a fun way to feel about your home, where you live, you know? So we are just so happy to be here. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted a little video the first morning we were here of me, and there's like a big porch in the back of our house that looks over the backyard. And I kind of showed how big the yard is, and it's just, we have no one behind us. We have nothing behind us except trees. This neighborhood is quiet. Literally last night we took Cosmo is our golden retriever, if you don't know. We took him on a walk, and this neighborhood doesn't have sidewalks, which you know, not a huge deal to me, but in our old neighborhood, if we had no sidewalks, then I wouldn't even go outside because there were so many cars all the time and people will just like run you over. And I'm not kidding. But here, there are no sidewalks, but honestly, it does not matter. It is so, like, we just walked right down the middle of the road last night on our walk, didn't see one car. Not one car. Like, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. I didn't know that houses like this existed. Honestly, like, we're just, if you can't tell, I'm just really, really happy about it. I love it. So this is obviously a new office for me, and this is very different for me because this room, you can't really see, but this room is a lot smaller than my last office. So my last office was just a bedroom that we used for my office. This room that I'm in now is an actual office. Like, it's in the front of the house. It was made to be an at-home office, but it's a lot smaller and a lot more compact than my last office. So I don't have as much storage in here, and it's just, everything is just much closer together because the room is a lot smaller. But I don't mind it at all. I really like it. I think it's just really cute and cozy. And since my husband is now working from home as well, he basically has like it's a bonus room area, but it's kind of like his room. So he's using that as his office, and it's on the other side of the house. So that was another issue at our old house, is I worked in in a bedroom, and his office was our loft area in our old house, which was right behind the wall of my office, which was not ideal because whenever he was on meetings or something, like, he was literally right behind the wall of where I was filming, so it just wasn't ideal. But this is much, much better. But this is also very different for me because this room, or our whole house, except for his bonus room area, they're hardwoods. So there's no carpet in here. I do have a rug down, but I've never filmed in a room without carpet. So when I go to edit this video, I don't know, I'll see what the sound sounds like. I hope that this rug that I put down under my filming desk is gonna be okay. But it's just, I don't know, I'll kind of have to experiment with it because I've just never filmed in a room with no carpet. I have the same furniture and the same lights and everything, but the piece that's behind me now is the piece that has all my makeup in it. And it used to be on the opposite wall if you watch my older videos, but now it's behind me because it fits better in this room being behind me than it does being over there. So my old background is over here on this wall now. So we just kind of flip-flopped it. I'm trying to like figure out the lighting and everything. This is just kind of what I'm trying out for right now, but I don't know. I may end up getting new lights. I may end up changing it. I don't know. Because whenever you move and you film videos like this, like my old setup, I kind of had like a set way that I filmed. Like, I kept the lights out all the time, and when you move, everything's different. So you have to kind of move things around, figure out what works in a new space. So bear with me. Okay, I am gonna move on to the eyes. I'm just using my Sigma eyeshadow base. And I'm just gonna apply that all over like normal. This is the shade Persuade. That was another one of the products that's been in my makeup bag because it's just so easy to throw on. And you can layer it obviously with eyeshadow or just throw it on, and you can just at least like even out your eyelids if you have a lot of veins or just discoloration in general. I have so many videos that I want to film. I have a whole list, and I feel so just good now that I'm in a new space. I kind of talked about this before we moved in one of my last videos, but I don't know what it is, but sometimes moving just really inspires you. I don't know what it is. It's just the new space. I don't know. It just like sparks creativity, or it does for me at least. I don't know. but I have so many things that I want to film. If you have any videos that you really want to see, leave them in the comments, because I have like a running list going of things that I want to do. But if there's anything you really want to see, any products you really want to see, let me know. I also have a ton of new makeup, things that I bought the last few weeks that I really want to use in videos. I have the new Kosas blushes. What else do I have? I have those new House Labs cream blushes. I forget what they're called, but the stick blushes, they're supposed to be like really glossy. I can't wait also to do my everyday makeup drawer in this room, because I don't have any makeup in my drawers yet. I don't even have my makeup collection in these drawers back here. They're still in boxes. I've kind of been saving that for the last thing because that's gonna take me a minute to go through and do all that. And I am using the Makeup by Mario Neutrals palette. This palette I packed with me and my Ethereal Eyes because I don't ever, if you know me, you know I love this palette. I don't ever want to be without it. So I used these two shades, this one and this one. I just kind of mixed them and put them all over my lid and in my crease. I'm just going to take a little bit of this warmer brown and put this here. I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm so behind on makeup things. There's so much new makeup out right now. The main things kind of in my mind are the Kosas blushes. So I ordered 2 of those. I just haven't tried them yet because it's just been crazy, but I cannot wait to try those on. I love a new blush formula, but I feel like actually everybody is releasing blushes right now. Like the House Labs blushes, Maybelline just released, or I guess it's maybe the last week or two, the new Lifter blushes, I think is what they're called, but they look like the Lifter gloss, but they're blushes. I really want one of those. There's just so many things that are new. So I've been keeping my brushes in this little bag. So this is also Stoney Clover for Gilmore Girls with the Luke's print on it. Oh, I wish they would bring these back. They were limited edition and I don't know why, because I feel like there's a lot of Gilmore Girls people out there, but I just love that little bag so much. Okay, I'm gonna take the dark brown right here in the palette with my 208 brush and do a little bit of a shadow wing. I love this Makeup by Mario palette. The more I use it, the more I just love it. All right, I am gonna take just a little bit. I think I'm just gonna mix all 3 of these colors I used on this top row with a little pencil brush and just apply that under my eyes. Okay, what else do I want to do here? But I love this bag. So much stuff. You can fit so many things in here, but it is so big that sometimes it's kind of hard to find what you're looking for. Of course, I kept my Victoria Beckham liner out. This one is in Cinnamon, and I'm just gonna apply this in the waterline. Had to go grab my lash curler. I still don't know where all of my makeup and stuff is, so I had to go find it. And the only mascara I've used for the past 2 weeks, is the only one I put in my bag, is the e.l.f. Lash, or not Lash and Roll, the Lash Extender mascara in brown. Still absolute favorite for me. I just can't get over how quiet it is here. Like, you go outside and you don't hear anything, you don't see anyone. Like right now it's like 1:30 in the afternoon, and it's just like so quiet outside. It was not like that at our other house. It was always loud, and it just, I don't know. It just drove me nuts. There was nothing calming about being there. It was just too much for us. But here, it is just like dead quiet all the time, and it's amazing. All right, finally for lips, I have these sitting here and I really want to try them. So this is the new Maybelline Lifter lip liner. I found these at Target yesterday and I haven't seen like anyone talk about these. I didn't even know that these were out. So yeah, of course, I couldn't decide what color to get. So what did I do? I bought 3 because, you know, I don't make decisions. I don't make decisions on colors of things. I just end up getting them all. These are like the kind where you have to rip the plastic off, and of course the plastic is not coming off. All right, I got them open, so I'll swatch these for you because I got 3 of them. So we have Big Lift right here, which this one's a little bit more of like a mauve color. Out of Line is this middle one. This one's more of like a warm nude, and then this one is On It, which is right here. So this one's the most brown, I guess. This one's the most cool tone, and this one's kind of more neutral here. They feel really good though. They're very creamy feeling. I haven't seen anyone talk about these. I think I'll do Out of Line first, which is the middle one. Ooh, yeah. These feel really nice, really creamy. These have to be new because I haven't seen anyone talk about this. Okay, yeah, that feels really, really nice. Really, really nice. I'm gonna take a little bit of Big Lift, which is the more mauve one. And I'm gonna kind of fill in a little bit with this one. And then, let's see, I've been doing this most days also. I just take the cream blush from the Patrick Ta Duo in Not Too Much. And then maybe, I've been using these a ton as well, the Effortless Lips from Ravi Beauty. This one is in Lily. All right, actually changed the lip combo slightly. I wasn't really feeling that combo. So I just went in with On It, which is the one that's more brown. So this one up here. Then I did a little bit of Not Too Much on my lips. And then I did a little bit of Dior Rose Nude on top of that. And I like this much, much better. And that is everything. I hope you enjoyed just listening to me yak for 30 minutes or however long this video is. And I just wanted to sit and chat with you about everything that's been going on. But we should be back to my regular scheduling Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now. And like I said, if you have any video requests, leave them in the comments. But I'm so excited to be here. I'm really happy. So thank you so much for all of you that have sent really nice comments or DMs on Instagram. Thank you so much. I read them all and I really appreciate you. So thank you. All the products I used, if I missed mentioning anything, it will all be in the description box. So that will all be linked for you. I do use affiliate links. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. And I will see you again very soon. Remember, simply be you.